welcome to Floyd Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Meng's latest 148 scale P-51 Mustang. Now I know what you're thinking, another Mustang 148 scale, let's face it, it's been done to death. I agree, but this is slightly different. For a long time now we've been talking about Bandai kits, trying to get kids back into the hobby and all the rest of it, and how good would it be if a major sort of manufacturer like Meng or Bandai, someone like that, was to bring out, as I said jokingly, a Spitfire or a Mustang. Well, lo and behold, at Telford we saw the first glimpses of this guy. Now this technically is a glue-free kit. Now I know what you're thinking as well. Oh, I know, trust me, I've had it recently. The Snack Type Brigade. Okay, no, this is still a model kit. Okay, and I believe it's going to go together just like a model kit, but we shouldn't actually need to use glue to get it to go. Now, does this mean it's going to be fantastic engineering, that obviously there's going to be no gaps and no filler required and no glue and it's going to be perfect like the Bandai stuff? Is very clever engineering, or is this just a simple way of getting the kids involved with it to start with, and then you could then do what we've done recently with lots of builds, is then add all the details, the filler, the gluing and everything else to it. So really it's best of both worlds. One, we can get the kids, the youngsters, into the hobby because they can build something straight out of the box and have something that is just fantastic right off the go. Okay, and at the same time, us modelers who want to do a bit of glue filling and all the bits and pieces and have a little bit of a challenge can have a go at it as well. So down here in the box, as you can see, lovely box art on the front. Okay, talking it through, it does say just down here, here's the keywords, it does say fast cement-free assembly design. Okay, accurate interior, lots of surface detail which you're looking forward to, various doors options, various paint schemes of the Mustang Aces. Okay, so AK are on here as well with Meng these days, as we know, so they're doing their paint call outs for all of it. So you get your conversion charts ready. But as we see, we've got American Beauty down here looking very, very nice. Okay, and then having a run round here. So your kit number for this one is LS006. Okay, and then on the other side, we've got short fuse, is that alley? I think so. Down here on this one as well. Again, very, very nicely done and all the rest of it. All right. Now, I do believe they're calling this ones, what are they calling these ones? The Lucidus series. Okay, got you. Interesting. Right, box sets. Okay, so to be honest, this is really the first time I have looked in this box. I haven't seen this at all. This is all brand new to me. And straight off the bat, I can see, as probably you can, these huge locating tabs, which aren't a bad thing as long as it all goes together. Okay, so generally we've got all separate bags, which is really, really nice touch. And honestly, if I was just opening this up for the first time, I would say it's a P-51 Mustang, the same as any kit that we've seen before. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to pop these out. Okay, so if we have a look at the instruction booklet first. Okay, just to see how this compares to the normal ones. All right, so from a point of view of looking at it, it just looks like your standard plastic model kit going together, as in rudder pedals, instrument panel onto the forward bulkhead, the rear with the actual the radio equipment and the fuel tank and all the bits and pieces down in the back, the seat going together, gun sight and the cockpit. This goes together exactly the same as any other Mustang that I've ever built in my life, so there's no difference there. Got a little bit of internal details going down there as well, and we've got some paint call outs for them, which is a nice touch. And then what have we got down here? We've got the underside, so we've got the actual tail wheel system going into the actual bay, the radiator stack being put in, and then the actual plating underneath of that one to give you that sort of air scoop system going in the bottom. And then on the other side, some more paint call outs down here. Prop going together and then being fitted in as we'd expect. Looks like we've got different types of props as well, depending on which one you want. It's a nice touch as well, and then it is going together. All right, top part going on there, and then obviously the part in front of the instrument panel being fitted on, and away we go. The gear, so we've got like a wheel well system down the bottom here, one piece with gear going on, and then this obviously drops down into the lower wing section, puts across top wing section. Very nice that we've got posable, or looks like we've got posable flaps and ailerons down in there. Guns being put onto the front, the little areas just like that. Okay, and then on the back here, it looks like we've got a choice if we want to have that radiator for the oil cooler, I do believe, at the back, open or closed. Okay, and then we've got the front with the leading edge of those wings all in one piece with the lower cowling, which is quite a nice touch. Okay, so hopefully we'll get no big seam lines like you usually get with Mustangs. Doors open or closed, obviously you've got your choice down there, as you might imagine, right the way through, and the one for the oil cooler at the back. Then we've got the fuel tank, so we've got the 108 gallon one or the 75, or we've got a 100-pound bomb. Obviously your weapons fit being fitted on there, sway braces and everything right the way in, and your pitot tube being fitted to the model. Canopy, a few little bits and pieces going to go in there, little bits of detail, plugs in the back, and then you've got an outer part is going to come in and lock this in with an aerial spike, which is quite a nice touch on that one. That's a very nice way of doing it, we like that. And then you've got the tailplanes being fitted down there and the rudder installed. Okay, there's your markings down there. So we've got the P-51 15459 of the 308th. From the 31st US Air Force with Captain John Voll. Very nice markings on that one. Or the other one you've got is 15622 from the 356 of the 354 Fighter Group, 9th Air Force with Pilot Captain Richard Turner. Again, very nice job on that one. So I have to say, right off the bat, it's just like a normal kit. So that is a very nice touch. So your decals, as we can imagine, we've seen a lot of these before. Very nice indeed. A little bit thick perhaps, they look a little bit glossy, but no doubt I think once they get down then they'll be done. They're nice solid, good colouring and everything else like that. The instrument panel's pretty lousy, but let's face it, they all are. It's not as if it's just them. So that's not too bad at all. We like all of that. Okay, let's pop that over there. So let's have a start on the fuselage. Okay, first review of 2017. So, bag one. We just have a look-see down here. Okay, so if we work our way around here, as you can see straight off the bat, hopefully, very, very nice surface details. Okay, we have got some ghosting showing through on this, if you can see it, but it's not actually a sink mark. It's close, but not quite a sink mark, but lovely riveting detail. And all these little bits down on here, very nice indeed. And then even down here we've got this early front end under the sort of, the underguard, and where the actual wings join the fuselage. Nice touch down there. That's actually really, really nice. I'm trying to work out if it's softly molded or sort of, weathered metallizing or something on here. Very difficult to tell. Okay, so we've got the spinner, the wheel hubs, the tail wheel, another part of the spinner, two types of spinner noses. We've got the short and the big. Okay, and then working our way down, we've got the fuel tanks, the various bits and pieces down on the back, as you can see down there. And then obviously we've got the main gear, no problem. The bearing doesn't look too bad on this. In fact, the funny thing is you can feel it on the sprue, but not actually on the part. The big thing is in here. So details first. So obviously very nice detail that we've got the instrument panels. This one on this side is void, so it's got a plate going to go on this one. This one's already on here, as you can see in, but as you can see, this is the telltale. These huge, great areas. Okay, now this looks like it's going to need a little bit of work. Okay, so just over here you might notice we've got this ejector pin, a little bit of burring just around it. Probably going to take a little bit of just a swipe just to clean that up. There's a little bit of damage in there. Okay, I think with the glue in there melted in, it's not going to make a problem, but generally you're okay. And again, when you look at the front, these nice big slots where obviously it's going to fit in and go in there really, really nice. Okay, so generally I have to say thumbs up so far. Really nice. You can see, as I say, the ghosting quite pronounced. So you can see it in here of all of these huge locating tabs, but they don't think they go through. They don't look like they go through at all. So generally I have to give a thumbs up there. That's really nice. Okay, let's have a look at the wings. Okay, so again, straight off the bat, the first thing that jumps out of you is the detail. Really nice details right the way down under here, no problem at all. Looks very, very nice. We've all seen Mustangs, let's face it, and we're used to it being recessed details like this. Okay, so that's not a problem. The flaps, can see down there, no problem with those at all. We've got the rudder with the raised detail. Okay, that's a nice touch as well. This is that back area where you're going to have the actual aerial coming up for communications, and then the tops of the wings. So we don't have any options for opening up the gun bays, but you can see lovely detail all on those. No problem with these at all. Very nice. And then obviously on the inside. So as you can imagine, again, huge, great locating tabs right the way through, all the way over. These ejector pins do worry me that they're not flat. I must admit, when I'm rubbing my finger over, I can't work out if there's a little bit of raised in there and needs to be dealt with, or it's okay. But we'll certainly see how that comes along. But generally, these tabs as well, you might notice them along here and right the way through. They're very large, which is going to be good for the kids. And for the more older fingers, shall we say, and things like that. I think again it's a really nice one. Nice touch down in here. We've got a little bit of ribbing work just to give it a little bit of strength. And again, these tabs in there. Just be interesting to see how well these push together. But I must admit, you can't fault the detail or it as a normal kit. Okay, so So if we start, I think we'll start over in this corner. So we've got the doors. Let's have a look at the insides of them. There we go. You can see really nice details down in there. Some very nice details actually. No problem. We don't have any ejector pin marks or anything else on any of the parts we don't want them. We've got the tail planes down on here. Very nice. Single moulded for the actual tails themselves. But no problem with that at all. Generally we're okay. We have got a little ejector pin marks just down in these door areas, but they're very shallow and they're tucked out of the way. Okay, and then we got the ailerons looking very nice and everything else like that. If we flip it over, hopefully you can see. So you've got the air scoop, the various things, really nice touches with these guns. You know, could do really with drilling them all out. For some reason they've drilled out one and left the others. Okay, and then we've got the little, I think it's the oil cooler scoop at the front. Okay, various little bits and pieces down on there. The pin there, if you're wondering, I think that's for the spinner. Okay, and then down here at the back, so this is your tail wheel. Again, all moulded in one with the doors, nice for the kids. Okay, and then we've actually got the cowl running across the top. Very nicely done, no problem at all. And then the scoop on the underside. Again, nicely done. Can't see any problems with that. Yeah, really very, very nice. Again, if it didn't have giant screw tabs on it, you just say it's just another 48 scale Mustang. Okay. Okay, so down here on the underside, as we can see, a couple of little ejector pins just down here in the wheel well. We've got one over here, we've got one down there, but the rest of it is completely fine. I think they'll be okay. They'll be tucked out the way. It's not a problem, so that's okay. And then on the other one, the seat, we've got some nice little details down here on the seat. This is that side one with the throttle, I do believe, and things down on there. So that's quite a nice touch. The little 100-pound bombs. The inner part of the well got a little bit of ribbing detail down on the inside, and then generally just looking around at all the other parts, not too bad at all. Okay. Last up, we've got props. A little bit of details for the internals. So down in here, we've got the combing over the instrument panel. The instrument panel itself, the tail wheel, we've got no weight on wheels or anything else like that. We've got that fuel tank down here at the back, and bracing, the props. So we've got a couple of different types of props down in here. We've got the thin one and the big paddle blade on there as well. Different types of exhaust as well. So we've got the one with the fairing, the little radio equipment and battery bits and pieces on the back, as we can see down in there. Again, very, very nice. Very hard to find a fault with any of it. Okay, instrument panel. Sorry, gun sight, I should say. Again, nice touch with these, and you can see that it's in a bag, so it's designed to protect it. So what we need to do is find the end. So it's self-adhesive to itself. Okay, that's really, really nice. These canopies, hopefully you can see, are really very, very clear. Not free of distortion, obviously, but that's a complex shape, but that's beautifully clear. The only thing is we have got a centre seam running right up through them, so you are going to need to attack that with a sanding stick. But generally, the front one, as you can see, beautifully clear. We've got the actual secondary layer, sort of the armour glass. Again, very nicely done, and then we've got the gun sight. Very nice indeed. So there we go, Meng. Technically, as far as a kit goes, it's a great Mustang. It's nothing better, it's nothing worse than anything we've seen before. It is just a good quality Mustang. The test is going to be if this thing actually goes together with no glue seamlessly, or is it just a nasty click fit model and all the rest of it. So join us in part 2 of this, where we're going to come back, put this thing together, and see exactly what we got.